you want to go out to Poppy's workshop and get a drink and a snack?
Yes!
Welcome back to Building Blindly. Today, I'm going to show you how I made an iPad holder. I'm going to tell you the story behind this. My granddaughter was playing games on her iPad and she was propping pillows up behind it. And she goes, "Poppy, just give me another pillow." So she told me to put another pillow there, so it's propping it up. She asked me, "Poppy, can you make me something to hold this?" And I said, "Sure." So today I'm going to show you what I did, how it turned out. We'll take this apart, you'll see how this was built. I want this 8 inches. So now it says 8 inches. So I take this Swanson square, where it has all the marks in it, and I bring it to the edge of my tape measure, which would be 8 inches. And again, always cut to the left or to the opposite side of the piece you're not using. So I do this, I set that down, I've got this set, and then I take my scriber and I draw the line.
Turning off in 5 seconds.
And you draw the line, and I have to do a deep line from here because I'm going to be using it on my saw. And as you feel that line, then what I do, I plug my saw in. Again, lining everything up. Plug my saw in. I bring this over to the saw, feeling the line, bringing it down. Again, not touching the switch, but bringing the thing down. And then I keep moving this over, and I put my fingernail right in the crack. And then I bring the saw down so it's touching right against the edge of my fingernail. I make sure that everything is square and double check where I'm at to get this line accurate. Right down on it. So then I hold this in here, then I reach up, I start the saw. And then what I do, I'm going to take this board, I'm going to bring it onto this board, just line this up. Line this up right here so I'm feeling on this side so it's nice and even on this edge. This to a 45-degree angle. So I'll put this at 45. Lock it in. Then I'll bring this up here. Bring it back over. Again, feeling the edges on this side that they're absolutely lined up. And then I want to feel the edge of this corner to the edge of the saw, which tells me it's not lined up yet. Push everything back to keep it square. Keep everything square in here. And then I lift the gauge with my thumb, bring the saw down, touch it, it's not in far enough, move it over, it's in too far. I'll get just a clamp on this side, so just to hold this down. So I've got it flush with the gate, with the back. Tighten that up. Holding this all in so everything's snug, everything's firm on this side, everything's lined up. And then I've got this sitting here like so. I want to make sure that it's tight so it does not really kick back or go out at a different angle. I come back up, I re-feel again, feeling this edge to bring this down. So I've got the same 45 on this board. Again, starting my saw, hand away from everything. I wanted it to be at a certain angle so they can play games on this. So then I'll bring it in and I'll set it on here and I'll measure it out in the center. And in here, I'll end up putting my dowel pins in and glue everything and bring it down to here, centering it on this board. What I want to explain is this is a great 45-degree angle. Other companies have to have different braces, different clamps to hold everything together. And I'll show you how this goes on. You put it down on here for the 45. Again, you got a check mark. You bring that right to here, right to the very edge of it, and then you tighten things in. Now again, what I do to make sure I know where I'm at, I'm gonna take check mark to tape. So my check mark to tape goes right in here like so. So I know I'm going to that tape, and I know that my face side is over here. So I'm gonna go face side to face side. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten this up, hold this here, and tighten these clamps up. Again, I could not do this with any other device because my clamps, I never could get an angle on it. I couldn't hold it. And to my knowledge, this is the only company that has this 45-degree angle for you. But again, making sure this is really flush with your fingers. There is another way you could do it. I should show you this. In case you're not good with your fingers or whatever, there is another way of making sure that it is flush. Let me bring this out. And you take this pin, you put the pin in, and the pin drops down through, and you bring it over, and you can see the pin hits that. And I'm good with just feeling with my hands. I'm gonna take this back out. That's one way you can do it. I'm gonna bring this back over. I can tell you, this device is extremely accurate. And I take my drill, and I bring it over here. And what I do is I feel the edge of these bevels, so I know right where my drill is going. I have my fingers here, so I set it in. I always got to clean out the hole, and then I just take my tip and I move it over to the next hole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up, as you see, and I'm going to show you the holes it was made at the angle it was done. And that all lines up perfectly, even though on here, this board is a little wider at one end than the other. It still come out perfectly. Why? Because Dowelmax makes everything perfect. Again, if you make a mistake, it's yours, it's not the tool. Now what I'm gonna do is do a different configuration for you. I'm gonna take this apart, take this apart here. Because now we're gonna go ahead and work on the base. Pull this off of here, take this off, and pull out some of these clamps because it's different from on the corner. I'm gonna take this off completely. Okay, I'm gonna set this block here, put this on here, and then take and put my pins back in. Set my other pin, set my other pin back in here. Put these on with this flare on the inside. Then I'm gonna take this time, and I'm gonna put it this way on here, so it comes out nice and even. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take this, put it in the vise. Take this, again, putting it here, check mark to check mark, or tape to tape in my case. I'll tighten this down. I would take my drill, and I would drill these holes straight in. Again, taking your finger to guide the drill, holding it here, and knowing that this is where it is in. So then you drill 1, 2, and 3 holes on that end. Again, reminding you this is the base. So then what I would do is I'd loosen this up, and because it's so tight, I would just bring it over here, and over here I've got tape to tape, and do the same thing again. So I'm just doing 3 and 3. When you're done, this is what it looks like on the base. Now that being done, I'm going to take this off. Again, this is going to be the base of the iPad holder. And again, this is a Leapfrog, so it's a little bit wider. When my granddaughter has it on here, it's a little bit wider. So for that reason, I would take it and go this way here. I would take my block out, take this out of here. I would take this pad and this. It won't take you as long, but again, because I am feeling everything in here, all I do now is put this in here, set it to this here, and screw it in. So I would screw this into the plate. Again, making that tight, grabbing the other one, making this tight. I want to take it here where this angle, and I have this angle would go this way on here. Well, what I did was I measured it to have everything all set up that way. And then I already had drilled, so to save the sake of drilling and such, this is where it would be. And I would take a clamp, move this back, take a clamp, I put a clamp on here. This is the only time you'll need clamps. And then I would take and line this up line this right up here, and that's where it would be. So you'd line this up, these holes are all lined up perpendicular, and again, you would drill 1, 2, 3, and then all you would do is remove your clamp, move it over to the other side, and again, 1, 2, 3. So when you take it off, this is what it looks like. The base looks just like this. And again, I did the same here. I drilled the bottom of this because this is the angle that the iPad is going to sit on. And again, folks, I gotta say, this is overkill. No, you would never do this, but I'm using so many of the dowels, I just want to show you how accurate it is. I don't want to make it too tight, but I'll show you what I do is I make sure that the base has that down all the way. And I take and I'll put the base down here, put this all in the base. Set this all in the base. Then I would take this angle, which is the bottom, and I would put this lined up right in here and just bang that down so that's tight. I would glue it, obviously, and I'd put all 6 in. Again, overkill. Then I would take the angle that I'm using to put the iPad on, these holes lining up with these, I would set that right up into here. And I would situate that right down in. So everything in here is angled correctly. Again, tape to tape or check mark to check mark. Now, this would be a perfect angle. And to show you that it's a perfect 45, it would sit just like so. That would all sit right in there perfectly, and that angle would come down, and everything would sit right down in to that slot. So that's how this is gonna work for her. I'm still gonna sand this, and then I'm gonna put my polyurethane on it and get it all prepared and give it to my granddaughter. So that's what I'll be doing next, sanding it and staining it.